Hey everyone, Robbie from Daisho Tactical. Today bringing you an initial thoughts on the Gunnr Odin 1-10 variable optic. Full disclosure, Gunnr sent this to me to review. There's no incentive there other than just, hey, check out this optic. So I'm going to give you my fair and unbiased opinion of it. And this is just a real quick initial video. Right now it's late January. It's brutally cold outside. It's about 2 degrees, so I'm not going to the range as much as I typically do. I have shot this a little bit on an indoor range, and just giving you my initial thoughts. In a few months when it warms up and I shoot a lot more, when I'm back to shooting every day, I can give you a more kind of thorough review, but this is just the initial features review. Let's go take a look on the workbench. So once again, this is the Gunnr Odin 1-10 scope. Initial thoughts. It appears to be very well manufactured. It's made out of 70-75 aluminum alloy, which is common. It's good stuff. It is nitrogen sealed, so you shouldn't have any problem with moisture getting in there. It's a 34 millimeter tube, which means it's just this really kind of thick tube there. Now, what does that do for you? It generally gives you a lot more room to have more adjustment in your erectors inside the scope. And this scope has a ton of room. It's, I believe, 75 MOA in the actual scope, and there's actually another 45 in the reticle. That is a ton of elevation adjustment in there. In fact, it's a lot more than you'll probably ever need in this kind of scope. Don't judge me. This is mounted on a BCM upper and a just trash lower that works well, but it's just an old lower I've had lying around. This company doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, the actual adjustment ring here works really smooth from 1 to 10. Comes with this throw lever on there that you can screw in. That's a nice feature to come with. It just works. It has over here a adjustment for the light from 1 to 6, and in between each adjustment there is like a stop. So if you set it, for example, this is set on 6, and I move it over to the stop, and then when I turn it on, it goes straight to 6. As far as the turrets are concerned, they are locking turrets. You can't move it like this. You have to pull it up to make adjustments, and then the clicks are very distinct. Okay, I like those. You can also set the zero stops. I've zeroed this and I set the zero stops, and they work. So that's nice, real distinct clicks, and it just feels really stout and well built in there. Comes with this mount. It's not an amazing mount, okay, but it works. What I do like is the inch pounds are already set on the mount there in the rings and on the cross bolts. I love that. I think that's a great feature. I think every scope mount should have that. Saves me the trouble of Googling it. But it is what it's not a necessary thing, but it's kind of nice. So there is no parallax adjustment, which is common in LVPOs. It's preset for 100 yards. It's also common over here. You have your windage adjustment, just like the elevation adjustment. You have to pull it up to move, just like the elevation. Good, solid tactile clicks. No complaints there. Looks great. So briefly, let's talk about all the things the scope comes with. I'm going to move this up a little bit so there's more room. This is the $680 version, which is a really pretty reasonable price for what you're getting, and it comes with this really cool case. Inside the case, this is how it showed up. You know, it's all got the foam cutouts for the scope and everything. Comes with a cloth, comes with instructions, and comes with all the tools you're going to need to mount it and make any adjustments to it. Came with this adjustment tool for setting up the zero stop. My only issue with it is the plastic's kind of soft, which is good because you don't want to damage your caps and scratch them up. But from the factory, these caps are so tight that it actually kind of marred this a little bit. It also comes with this cool coin. Fortunately, this coin fits in here, and I was able to break the factory tightness of that. And after I'd broken it free of that, this tool worked just fine for setting that zero stop. Also comes with all the tools you need to make any sort of adjustments. Pretty standard, but you know, it's well thought out. They provided you with everything you need. Scope also comes with the ocular focus right here. Definitely need that so you can adjust the reticle to your eye. And that pretty much sums up all the basic features of the Gunnr Odin 1-10. Okay, we're back. Forgot to mention, does come with these lens covers that are clear so you can theoretically shoot while protecting your scope. I don't ever use these. but if I was to use one, this one's pretty nice. I don't even mess with them. That's just me, just my personal preference. So, having not done a ton of shooting on it, probably 50 rounds, but spent a lot of time looking through the glass in daylight conditions and low light conditions, what are my initial thoughts? Well, first thing, this comes with very, very, very good glass for the price. Basically, when it comes to scopes, you're paying for two things: durability and the clearness of the glass. Okay, the more expensive your glass, the clearer it's going to be. So like a really, really expensive scope, like something north of $2,000, is going to have amazing glass, like really clear glass. And your cheaper scopes, your generally your sub $1,000, sub $500 scopes are going to have less clear glass of poor quality. This scope kind of bucks that trend because they use German shot glass, which is very high quality glass, and they put it in the scope, and so it is a very, very clear image when you look through it. What is the difference between good glass and bad glass? Well, basically it's the difference between standard definition television and high definition television. When you look through it, it's, oh wow, look at all those details. Look at all those. For example, if I'm looking at a brick wall with a poor quality scope, I can still see it's a brick wall. But with high quality glass, I can actually see the texture of the brick wall, if that makes sense. So if I'm trying to discern facial features or really figure out what the hell I'm looking at, that's where you're going to want that high quality glass. And this scope does come with some very high quality glass. Very clear image, very comfortable to look through. The eye box can be a little punishing at 10x. That's not unique to this brand of scope. All 1 to 10s I've looked through have a not very punishing, but a fairly punishing eye box. You just got to take an extra second to set up the scope correctly to your eye to make sure that every time you get on the stock in 10x, it's there. Okay, that image is nice and clear and you don't have any scope shadow. I was able to do it on this one, not a problem. Now let's talk about some of the things that are probably not quite my preference. I think they could use some improvement. First thing, it is a first focal plane scope. A lot of people like first focal plane. I like first focal plane in kind of more precision scopes. What does that mean? That means that it's got a busy reticle, and as you zoom in at 10 power, you get this beautiful reticle, nice big Christmas tree with lots of adjustments and tons of information in it. I love that. Okay, I love it for precision shooting. I don't know if it is appropriate for a 1 to 10. Because when you dial it all back to the 1x, that big beautiful reticle gets really, really tiny and really hard to see. Most companies solve this by having some sort of red dot that you can turn on, that where the reticle, when it's all the way blown up, the inside of the reticle is kind of glowing red, and then when it's brought all the way back, it just comes into a little dot. That's how most companies deal with that. Same thing here. Over here, that's your red dot. The problem is this is not a daylight bright red dot. So when you turn it on to its highest setting, which is 6 in regular daylight, it's not really easy to see. It's pretty faint. If I was trying to snap up on target very quick in the 1x, even with that on 6 power, I would have a hard time seeing it, hard time tracking it. Additionally, the actual reticle in 1x is very difficult to see. So I'm not sure how practical that is. However, at 10x, the reticle looks absolutely beautiful. There's a ton of information there, a lot more than you'll ever need at any range you'd probably engage with this optic. So that is my main critique of this optic right now, is at 1x, with that light being so weak, it's not really usable. Now that same reticle at 4 power, it's fine, it's usable. At 6, 8, and 10, it's very usable, it's beautiful. In fact, at 10x, I absolutely love the reticle. It's the kind of reticle I would want in any of my precision rifles because I like a lot of information in there. So final initial thoughts. It's good. It's very good. Not great. The mount is good, but the actual optic, the durability is good. The build quality appears to be good. I like the nice tactile feel of the adjustments. That's what I want to see in an optic. And the glass is very clear, especially at this price point at $608. This is extremely clear glass at that price point. Once again, only reservations is how light that red dot is. I look forward to shooting it a lot more. I thought it was a cheap Chinese scope, and I'm sure parts of it are made in China. Okay, but it's a Canadian company that seems to give a shit about their product and put out a quality product. So I really look forward to shooting it some more in the near future. Time for the post-video shameless request for support. If you guys like my content, you want to see more of it, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Better yet, support my channel. Go to my website, daishotactical.com. There you can find a variety of products that I make myself at my workbench. I make a variety of slings in a bunch of different colors, quite a few different models. I also make shooting bags. Any money spent at the store really does help me moving the channel forward and making more content for you in the future. Thanks for watching.